Hello and welcome to this edition of MCPSS Athletics. My name is Crist, Athletic Director for Mobile County Public Schools. In the studio today we have from Davidson High School, girls basketball coach Charlie Shipp, and from Phillips Prep, girls basketball coach Calvin Turnipseed. But first, let's get to the scoreboard. In boys basketball action, BC Range dropped a 71-52 decision to Escambia County. Central lost to Saraland 54-43. Behind Rankin's double-double, Davidson defeated Baldwin County 68-61. Javon Hackworth scored 24 points to lead Theodore to a 61-57 victory over MGM. Viger lost a 51-45 decision to Spanish Fort. In girls action, the number 7 ranked Davidson Warriors defeated Baldwin County 58-26 with Abney's double-double leading the way. Behind Ingram's 26 points, Theodore defeated MGM 61-27. Eanes scored 12 points as Williamson defeated Satsuma 42-18. Spanish Fort defeated Viger 60-50. And that is it for this week's scoreboard. Welcome back to the studios. Today we're happy to have in our studio Coach Charlie Shipp, the girls basketball coach at Davidson, and Coach Calvin Turnipseed, the basketball coach at Phillips Prep.
Good morning.
Appreciate y'all coming by.
Good to be here.
Well, Coach, your season is just finished up. You want to tell us a little bit about what happened? You had a great year.
We had a fantastic season. I was really proud of the way the girls came together. It started early on with us getting together and having a plan, sitting down and deciding what we want to do, our focus will be on. And my suggestion was, let's try defense first. We get a few points every once in a while. Let's work on defense. And the girls really did commit to that. They worked really hard at practice during the games. They were focused the entire season. And it worked out well for us.
Well, that's good. Coach Shipp, you're now up to what, number 7 in the state?
7 in the state.
7 in the state. You want to tell us a little bit about your season so far?
You know, every year we start off in Huntsville. We go up against the best teams out of Birmingham and Huntsville. We've played a lot of quality opponents in Mississippi. Currently we're 22-5. We're ranked 7th in the state. We're won the area championship for the season. We'll host the area tournament coming up next week.
Coach, tell us a little bit about your reasoning behind playing these out-of-town tournaments. I know you're one of the few. It seems like a lot of times everybody plays in town. They play the same opponent during the year 4 or 5 times. What is your reasoning behind this?
Well, about 8 years ago, you know, I made a commitment that to get better, to be at the state level, we need to go play top teams in the state. And fortunately, in Huntsville, Bob Jones has put on a tournament. First year we went up there, 3 out of the 4 6A teams were in the Final Four. Mm-hmm. And they've had a lot of 5A and 4A state championships go up there. Brubaker Tech was up there and they won the state. Hoover's been up there, you know, so it's right off the bat you get to see where you stand and where you need to work at. And it puts us in a position where our girls are seeing the best, so when we get, you know, to play locally, we shouldn't be intimidated by anybody locally. That we should, you know, they exploit our weaknesses up north and we can hopefully come down here and work on our things we need to work on.
Coach, I know when I was coaching, I like to go on these out-of-town tournaments. It's a time for bonding also, isn't it, for your team?
Right. We focus on that a lot. And first of the season, you know, they stay in a hotel room together. They have to travel together. They're with each other all the time, the meals, everything. And it's, you know, trying to get them to bond together. You know, if you're going to be a committed team, you've got to be able to get along with one another.
Right.
And that's, you know, especially with girls, you've got to make sure everything's going good.
Right. Coach Turnipseed, you're just coming off a big win. You won the 3A championships in the middle school. You can tell us a little bit about that championship game?
Well, as always, playing against Burns and Coach Barnes' team is a challenge. Very well coached team. It was an exciting game. Went to overtime. And it's one of the games where the girls had to stay focused. They had to stay committed to what we were doing all season. We were tied at halftime, 20-20, and we went into the locker room. And I told the girls that, you know, it's time like these where great players make great plays in big-time games. And we came out and stayed focused, and in the end, we won by 2, 36-34.
Pretty evenly matched teams, wasn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay. They had us with the height advantage down low. Our game plan going in was to take the ball inside and hopefully get the basket and the foul and the fouls, and we did. We ended up shooting 19 for 36 free throws. Right. So I think that was the difference, making free throws.
Coach Turner said, you want to tell us a little bit about your career? I know most of it has been at Phillips, but where you started up to this point and up to this point.
I started teaching in 1989 at Martha Thomas Elementary, kindergarten through 6th grade PE. Got an opportunity to move to Phillips. Didn't want to at first. I fell in love with my kids at school there. I was, I guess, the daddy there.
Right.
And prayed about it and made the leap to Phillips, and I think that's where I should be.
And how many years have you been there, Coach?
Oh, goodness, since, I want to say 96.
96,
yes, sir.
Been there a while. Coach Shipp, a little bit about your career. I know you started out, I believe, as an elementary.
Well, in the public schools, I started out at just 4 and 5. I was the first PE teacher there. And when I was teaching there, I was coaching football at Grand Bay. So I was driving to Tobinville and then to Grand Bay to help, you know, for athletics. And then eventually became the head football coach at Grand Bay. They merged with Alba and went to Davidson for football and wound up coaching football, basketball, and softball. So now I'm just coaching softball and girls basketball right now.
Well, good. Coach, what kind of offense are you running this year?
Not a very good offense. But
Number 7, you got to be doing something right.
Well, it's, you know, basically we're, you know, we put in their minds we're going to play man-to-man defense. You know, in the past couple of years we've relied on zone, but this group I have, they get lazy in a zone, so we're man-to-man. And as far as offense, we sit there and we try to take what the defense gives to us. If they go man-to-man, we'll do, you know, we'll do a pick and roll. If they go zone, you know, we work constantly on the 3-point shot. So it really depends on what the other team's going to do for us. But you know, I explain to my players very simple. If they got one girl on Shantavia, throw her the ball. If they got 2 girls, somebody else is open. Shantavia is our big post player. She's having a great season. Against Murphy the other night, she had 10 points just in the 3rd quarter. So a lot of it revolves around, you know, getting it to our post people.
Right. Coach, your offense and defense this year?
We basically run a 3-1 offense, a give and go. Stick really simple stuff with the kids this young. Run a zone defense, and it's predicated on everybody's being disciplined, staying at home, and moving your feet.
Right.
So with the give and go, we just run a series of moves inside, looking for the open man, left and right, just to keep doing it until somebody make a mistake on defense and hopefully get a good shot.
You must have some kids that got patience, because that does take patience.
It takes a lot of patience not to get in a hurry and want to move too quickly. If they play good defense, then you got to keep running it and be patient. After a time, slow it down. It's about tempo. Be patient. The shot will come. Somebody can make a mistake on defense. Hopefully, we can exploit it.
What about your defense?
Zone defense. You know, everybody's got to be disciplined, stay at home. With basketball, especially with kids this young, everybody want to follow the ball, move to the ball. Play your position. Do what you do best and stay at home. And when the ball come back around, be there. Move your feet. Get your hands active. Don't foul. Don't reach in. You got to move your feet.
Coach Turner said, what about some of your top players this year?
2 top veterans coming back this season was Shelby Rose Hall and Maggie Robinson. 2 of the academically top kids in our school. Athletically, they are just second to none. They both are very competitive. Hate to lose, like I guess everybody does, but they are the catalyst that runs our team, of our 2 leaders.
Or were they 8th graders?
Yes, sir.
All right, where will they go after this?
Shelby's in Davidson District, so Coach Shipp will be maybe looking to get into her. Maggie, she lives in Creola, so I don't know what district she's in.
Right, it's up in there.
Yes, sir.
Right. Coach Shipp, you mentioned one of your players. What about some of your other players?
Megan Good, she's senior. She's my defensive specialist. She played for Coach Turnipseed. She does a great job. If we play somebody, she's going to be assigned to their best player. And she has a lot of heart, and she's in the IB program. She's just a great person, great player, and just fortunate to be able to coach her. My point guard is Jalen Snowden. She's a senior. She's having an outstanding year. And of course, Shantavia Harris is my big girl in the middle, but the one that's been playing great lately is Tammy Abney. She's had big games the last couple of games. She had a big game against Baldwin County, and both her games against Murphy, she's played outstanding.
Coach, and tell us a little bit about your area. I know you're in a pretty tough area.
Yeah, this year it's we finished first. Murphy finished second. Theodore and then Bryant. This was the, we haven't lost an area game in about 8 years. Theodore beat us in an area game this year. Coach McClure is doing a great job. Murphy's always one of the best teams in the area. They always play us tough. Bryant, Coach Donald does a great job with what he has, and they've had probably their winningest season in school history.
What about this area, Mobile, Baldwin County, besides those teams you mentioned? Or is there other teams that you are going to have to face in maybe the regional or the state?
I looked that we, probably going to have to face Blunt. I've seen them play a couple times this year. McGill, Tulane, somehow they usually going to wind up at the Mitchell Center. Coach Berry does a great job with her program. And I guess over the bay you have Daphne should come out over there. But, my dark horse was I'm still, a little bit worried about Theodore.
Right. It's that time of the year. The best team don't always win. It's the team that peaks and gets hot at the right time.
Right.
Coach Turnipseed, you mentioned Burns. What were some of the other teams maybe that you faced this year that did a good job? We want to give them some recognition also.
Okay. Grand Bay, believe it or not, played us really, really tough the second game. Most teams get better when you play them the second time around. Hankins' program's improving. Sims and Causey also to the opponents that we have to face every year that's consistent.
Coach, you've been at Phillips for a while. Have you seen the level of basketball improve over the years?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. All schools are getting better. Most schools are teaching really good fundamentals about basketball for the kids and getting them ready for the next level. We want to make sure that when our kids do go to high school, they have some basic fundamentals of the game. So the coaching has improved.
I know the high school coaches appreciate those fundamentals. Of the rest falls in place if you can just get some good fundamentally.
Don't get too complicated with them. Just teach them the basics.
It helps. Coach, have you found that the level of basketball over the years has improved? I know it seems like they can play with the boys that handle the ball well. And have you seen the improvement? Yeah,
there's been a lot of improvement, but it's hard to. I'm still waiting for another Jasmine to come along.
Right. Well, that's like a Michael Jordan comes along in our area. I guess she was our Michael Jordan.
But you can tell which girls go out there and play against the boys to get better. You can tell which girls love the sport and they put the time into it.
Absolutely.
And it's with anything, it's how much time you invest. You just can't pick up a basketball in October and then expect to be a good basketball player. You've got players, that are playing in spring, summer. They're going to the gym, just to get better at basketball, and that's what it takes.
So it's become just about a year-round program, and I think it has in all of our sports.
Yes,
you don't see that many kids playing more than one sport anymore. It's year-round with one sport.
Well, and the state lets us play 7 play dates during the summer. And in Mobile County, I organize a girls' league, and you can play 7 days. You can play as many games you want to on those days. And some schools take advantage of it, some schools don't. But the ones that take advantage of it, you can see it helps them when a school ball comes around. But like I say, it's I have them in the month of June, and we get to play some basketball games. And plus the younger kids that are coming in, I can see which ones possibly can move up to varsity.
Coach Turnipseed, congratulations on winning the 3A. Great season. You've done a wonderful job at Phillips, and we really appreciate what you give to that school. Coach Ship, to you, one of our premier coaches in this state, and keep up the good work and good luck on your tournament coming up.
Thank you.
Appreciate y'all coming.
Thank you, sir.
Please get out and support our high school tournaments going on this week. Baseball and some of our spring sports started practice. And for Coach Ship, Coach Turnipseed, this is Calvin Crist. Thanks for watching.